We do have agreements, Judge, but also I believe Mom is wanting to ask for a reset and get an attorney. The state is actually opposed to that. We have an agreement as to money. The issue is going to be visits. I think temporary orders would probably be appropriate in this case, and we're getting too close to the end of the time to be able to do that.
Yes. Miss Ty,
Yes.
you're requesting a reset?
Yes. I thought that we would be able to come to an agreement as far as visitation without lawyers, but that doesn't seem to be the case. I would like to be present if there are going to be any visitations. And I guess he doesn't agree with that. So I just would like some time to seek legal counsel.
And sir, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, my main concern is just I'm the one who filed for child support because I've been trying to actively be a part of my daughter's life, and I haven't seen her for months because she's been kept from me. And that's why my main concern was just some type of visitation, some type of way that I'd be able to spend some time with my daughter. I haven't seen her for months, and it's been very hard on me.
Are there any protective orders in this case, Ms. Khan, or anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I'm inclined to do temporary orders. This is not the first setting in this case, to at least get something going, and that will give her a chance to then go consult a lawyer. Sir, to get something going, would you be agreeable to doing some initial supervised visits so you don't have to wait until the next setting to get something in place?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, that's not to say that it would continue supervised. I don't know, it would or wouldn't. I'm not deciding that right now.
Judge, the issue is, I think he wants his mom to do it at his mom's house, supervised by his mom. He doesn't think he and the mom in this case should be together, but she doesn't want to let the child go without her. That's more the issue.
Can I say something, please?
Yes, ma'am.
He called me a month ago and asked if he could prove that he's living at his parents' and staying out of trouble, and so that we could work out some type of, I could bring her over to visit at his parents'. And I said, you can also FaceTime every single day to just show that you can be consistent. He didn't call me for 5 days. And his parents just asked me to go to his sister's gender reveal 2 days ago. They wanted me to go, and he was going to be there. So he didn't have a problem with me being there at either of these times. But now he's bringing up a problem because...
A judge opens the scene, and the court smells like tense coffee. The mother asks for time to get an attorney, and the father wants to be a dad. Now they agreed on money, but the real fight is about being allowed to see the child. Temporary orders hang in the air like a draft that nobody can quite close. The idea of supervised visits appears like a compromise that might actually work. Both sides try to sound reasonable while secretly packing doubt in their pockets. Listen for the small details that reveal bigger stories about trust and risk. This is the courtroom version of a slow motion family drama.
I don't really know why, but I don't understand why he was okay with it like 2 days ago, but now all of a sudden I can't be there to supervise and make sure my daughter isn't in any danger, and he's not taking her somewhere else whenever he's supposed to be at his mom's.
I speak Spanish, sorry.
I can't hear anything. I don't know.
I don't see anything. I was trying to Mr. Bravo, I think, is in the wrong place. I was trying to stop his video because it's distracting.
Okay.
Okay. Why don't we take a little bit of testimony, Ms. Khan? You can present the agreements and we'll see if anything reasonable can be worked out. And again, I'm not trying to, this is just band-aiding it for her to get counsel. So it might not be the perfect visits for either of you. But depending upon what I hear, it's generally in the best interest for children to see both parents, but maybe what I'm going to hear is so horrific that it's not. So why don't we get some testimony, Ms. Khan? And what are the agreements?
Judge, the agreements are child support in the amount of $492 a month starting November 1st. Medical support would be $75 a month with government medical.
Okay.
Right. At this time, I would call Ms. Tai. Ms. Tai, can you state your name?
Courtney Tai?
And you're the mother of, is it Ahmed Milan?
Yes.
Okay, so whose last name does she have?
She has his last name.
Okay, so is his last name Milan?
No, it's Ahmed.
Is Ahmed her first name or is Milan Ahmed? I think I have it wrong. That's why I'm asking.
Milan is her first name.
Yeah, the pleadings all say Milan Olive Ahmed.
Okay, it's just wrong on my side. All right, that looked confusing to me. I apologize. All right, so when is the last time Dad saw the baby?
July.
And how did he see her in July?
We met up in Houston and he brought us to his parents' house from there. I don't know if I'm allowed to add any details that concern me about that, but I have a few.
I'll ask you again in a minute.
Okay.
So how long was that visit?
We stayed the night at his parents' house. So it was like around 24 hours.
And what was it that concerned you about that visit?
Whenever he picked me up, his car smelled like weed, as it always does. And I noticed that there was weed in the car. I told him he needed to get it out because I didn't want to bring my daughter in a car that had marijuana in it. And I was also concerned for my safety at the time because we met up at this like art studio that he has. And I know that his girlfriend has a history of being violent since she had just got off house arrest for shooting someone. And she's also posted stuff about me on Instagram that was very vulgar and kind of threatening.
She says she once walked into a car that smelled like weed. And the shiver stayed. He says he wants to be part of the life he helped start, and he looks tired. Grandma shows up as the possible safe harbor, and also as a spot of drama. We all watch how one house becomes the battleground for hope and fear. Social media ghosts make an appearance with blurred photos and loud comments. Promises about rehab and change float. Around like hopeful paper boats, the judge proposes. Supervised starts while leaving the future open and uncertain. This scene feels like both a beginning and a test for grown-up. Responsibility.
And so I was worried about my car. So I was really distracted. I didn't even notice, but he didn't get the weed out of his car. And yeah, that was the main concern was.
Did he smoke the weed while he was around your daughter?
No, he didn't. As far as I'm aware, he didn't in front of us.
When he interacted with your daughter, were you ever worried about her well-being?
Yeah.
What happened?
Just more about his hopes and dreams for her, I guess. A few days after she was born, he said he can't wait until she grows up so she can roll a blunt for her pops and have a beer with her pops. And he asked to smoke in the car with her before in the winter time, and he wanted to roll down the windows, and it was very cold. And
So I'm asking specifically about this time in July when you were with him and you saw him interact with your daughter. Was there anything that concerned you then about how he interacted with her so that you don't think she would be safe with him?
no, not. I mean, I don't really think it's safe to have a child in the car with illegal drugs, but other than that,
And are you okay with your daughter going to his mother's house?
if I'm there and I can make sure that she stays at his mother's house.
Okay. So do you have a good relationship with his mother?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty good. We just met up a few weeks ago. I wish that she would hold her son more accountable, and I wish that she wouldn't have allowed her granddaughter to become a stranger. I asked her to visit or meet us halfway many times in the past, and it took her from March until just 2 weeks ago to finally meet us halfway somewhere and visit.
Okay. So, other than the marijuana use by Mr. Ahmed, is there any other issues?
Well, he doesn't just do marijuana. That was just the only thing that was in the car. From what I've been told by his girlfriend, whenever the one time we spoke, she said that he was a meth head. He said 2 days before he got arrested for a controlled substance that he promised that he would go to rehab for Milan. And I told him that I would bring her to visit him if he did do that. But he obviously didn't do that. It's just his drug use and the past violence that has gone on.
Is methamphetamine?
That's what I was told. And he also told me last January, he told me that he was on meth and that there were times that he came to visit her and he was high on meth and I never knew.
Court. Testimony turns the private into public, and every small detail gets a spotlight. She remembers a visit that felt unsafe, and her memory guides her boundaries. Now he remembers the same visit with a different light and claims he is trying to be better. The child sits at the center of all this, and the adults orbit awkwardly drug use. Accusations and past violence stack like warning signs. On a map, everyone wants proof, and the courtroom asks for tests and receipts. Instead of promises, trust is now measured in hair samples and attendance records no one gets to rewrite. The past but temporary orders try to steer the future.
Are you wanting him to take a drug test before he has visits?
Yes, I do.
All right. And did you and Mr. Ahmed ever live together after the baby was born?
Yes. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
When did you separate?
October 4th, me and my daughter left.
Of 2024?
Yes.
And since then, has he ever kept the baby by himself without you there?
No.
But he has seen her at different times since that time period.
Yes, up until March, he was given free access to her. He could come visit her whenever he wanted. He could come spend the night. We would go to visit his parents. And in March, his car got shot up like 2 weeks after I broke up with him. And it was at the person's house who he lives at now, who just got off of house arrest for shooting someone.
Okay, so his car got shot up? Was there criminal charges for that?
No, he didn't file any charges, but I have a picture of it, and he's also talked about it in our text messages with me and my mom.
So is your main concern with him the drug use?
The drug use and the violence that seems to follow him. There was another time, a month before my daughter was born, where his car was targeted right outside of our apartment. We could hear the smashing. They smashed every single window. Every windshield had cinder blocks in them. The lights were smashed. All his lights were smashed out, and his tires were all slashed. And I had no idea at the time why that would have possibly happened. But then again, in July, whenever my daughter was a month old, he called me one night and he was distraught. He said all 4 of his tires got slashed and that he was going to kill himself. And then the shooting that happened in April. So that's 3 times that his car has been targeted in like a violent manner in just a year.
Do you know who's doing this to him?
No.
Okay. So have you ever been with him when there was any kind of violent episodes that people would come after him?
No, I was there whenever they smashed his car outside of our window. We were both there, but I had no idea at the time why that was happening. And I think that there was a lot of things I didn't know at that time.
Do you know now?
I honestly have no idea what happened to his car. I suspect, I don't know. I suspect that it was like women.
Accusations about dangerous friends and violent history add a heavy chord to the story. The mother imagines what could go wrong and wraps caution. Around her decisions, the father insists he is clean and signs up for testing. As if to salute a new life, both speak about the child with soft, fierce words that clash like storm clouds. The grandmother becomes a character with both comfort and worry built into her role testing locations. And dollar amounts start to sound like plot points in a drama. The judge listens and balances safety with the right for both parents. To matter this part smells of negotiation and the hope that rules can hold people steady.
Does wrong things to women sometimes and they like retaliate. And that's my only guess is what may have happened. And that's kind of another one of my fears whenever it comes to him, because his current girlfriend, whose house he lives at, she has a history of violence, and she said really horrible things about me on Instagram and posted them to the public. And I'm afraid that like one day he might do something to her and she'll retaliate against me or my daughter.
Okay.
To
So
her.
if dad wanted to have visits, I guess like Saturdays on the first, third, and fifth Saturdays of every month from 12 to 4 at his mom's house, you would be okay with that, but only if you were there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, but you would not be okay with it if like it was just him and his mom there at the house.
Only because I'm just worried that he would take her, that he wouldn't stay there, because his mom kind of lets him do whatever he wants and she just believes everything he says. And I've learned that he doesn't tell the truth a lot. That's really my biggest fear with me not being able to supervise.
Okay. And you heard the agreement earlier about the child support and medical support amount, the $492 and $75. Is that your agreement?
Yes, that's fine.
And how is the child covered for health insurance?
She's on Medicaid right now.
All right. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Hey, you may call your next witness.
Call Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Ahmed, can you state your name?
Yes, my name is Shahab Ahmed.
And you're the father of Milan Ahmed?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard the agreement I read about the $492 a month in child support plus the $75 in medical support. Is that your agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you okay with starting out with some supervised visits at your mother's house?
I I just get concerned because me me and her like mother aren't on like the best terms, and I just don't want any type of like unstableness, or like she's gotten violent with me before while I've like held my daughter, and like stuff like that just makes me nervous. That's why I would prefer like being around my mom, because my mom has helped taking care of her before, and she just would make me feel a little more like, I guess, safe. But I haven't seen my daughter in months, and if that's what I have to start off with, then that's fine.
So you're okay with having your mom supervise, you just don't want Miss Ty to supervise, is that right?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I haven't been in contact with her, and I've been just trying to kind of avoid any type of um like any of that like toxicity that we've had in the past. I've just been actively trying to be a part of my daughter's life, and I've been having a hard time not seeing her for so long.
I guess, I don't know if you answered my question. My question was,
Pictures of smashed cars and late night calls become evidence and emotional. Fuel they trade versions of events, and the truth sits somewhere in the middle, like an awkward guest. Her fear is concrete and specific, and his regret sounds like a slow apology song the courtroom becomes. A stage where character and credibility take turns. In the light, she asks for follicle tests, and he agrees to be proven or disproven by facts. Money gets adjusted to cover visits, and the judge carves out temporary fairness. Everyone leaves with tasks and deadlines that taste like small victories and threats. This feels like a legal patchwork stitched together to keep a child safe for now. Next.
are you okay with having your mother supervise your visits for right now under the temporary orders?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And the reason you don't want Miss Ty to supervise is because y'all have had some violence between you in the past. Can you explain what happened?
Yeah, just she has like a history with like mental health, and sometimes she gets unstable. Like there's been times where I've went out to work and she started like hurting herself with my daughter at the house, or she's came with like people to old roommate of mine that I was staying with, like just drunk one night trying to fight me while I wasn't even there. I was working, and just stuff like that. Um I just don't like being around that. That's why I haven't been in contact with her. But I have tried to reach out to see my daughter.
And and have you used drugs?
I've been clean. I had a case about a little over a month ago, and I check in with the pretrial court every morning, and I get drug tested by Harris County. So I haven't been on any type of. I'm willing to take any drug test or whatever to prove that I am drug free.
All right. So you have, what kind of case did you have? It's in Harris County?
Yes, yes. It was a controlled substance charge that I had gotten. And you know, I take accountability for that. It was a mistake, but I've been progressively doing better, and I've been clean.
Have you are you on any kind of program, rehab, or any kind of program for the drugs?
No, I just check in with pretrial court services every morning, and they drug test me. So it's just the terms I have with the judge is if I do drugs, I go back to jail. So I've been clean for that reason.
And right, I pass the witness, Your Honor.
What drugs were involved in that case?
It was cocaine. I had somebody had given to me when I was out one night, and um, a situation happened where the police found it, and it was on me. And the people that I was with, they just kind of like left me there. So I wasn't even doing cocaine at the time. I was just outside at a bar and somebody gave it to me, but I was caught with the possession for that.
The state does not represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance if there's anything additional you'd like to say. Ms. Ty, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yes, I would just like to state that I don't go out on the weekends. I stay home with my daughter. I've never been away from her for more than a few hours. I just finished phlebotomy courses so that I can support my daughter in her father's absence.
He describes his encounters with danger and the way the world seems to revolve around trouble. She remembers nights of smashed glass and the panic that still lives in her chest. Both want the child to be safe, and both claim that they are the one who can provide that the court hears both versions and decides to structure. Trust with supervision and rules the ABC program. Enters the scene as a practical bridge between fear and contact money and visitation. Schedules are reshuffled to reflect real life. Complications. The temporary order is a test period that could become a turning point. This chapter reads like a cautious step towards shared.
He calls me anytime he's having mental breakdowns. And I believe that he doesn't want me at the visits because that's his girlfriend speaking for him. Because he calls me at 4 a.m, like a month ago, 3 times called me at 4 a.m. So we've never gotten any fights while she's had visits with him ever. I don't bring our drama into her visits with her father. And I think that's all.
Mr. Ahmed, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I haven't been in any type of contact with her, so I don't know why she said that. I haven't called her for months because I've been trying to avoid contact with her. It's nobody's been telling me to say anything. It's just me just being away from my daughter. I've been wanting to file some type of visitation lawsuit or some type of, I'm the one who filed for child support because I've been having her like kept away from me. And I just feel like as a father, I should have some type of right to see my child. And that's just the hardest thing that's been for me.
Can I add one more thing?
One moment, ma'am.
Okay.
Do you have any response, sir, about the 2 incidences involving your car that she talked about?
Yeah, the person who had shot at my car, she was actually in contact with him, and he shot at my car because he was on drugs and he had problems with somebody that I was friends with, and he saw my car outside one day and I wasn't even inside of the car. It was a parked car and he shot at it, and she had been in contact with him. The other times where my car had gotten slashed and the windows were broken, no, I have no idea who was responsible for that. And that's not something that happens like regularly to me. Like I wouldn't put my daughter around any type of like danger like that, at least like knowingly. And yeah, I have no idea for what those incidents were. I had paid for the repairs myself and just moved on after that.
Ma'am, what did you want to add?
Well, I was absolutely not in contact with the person who shot at his car. I actually begged him. I have so many text messages of it. I begged him to stay away from this person. I told him he's going down a dark path and he's going to drag you down with him. And he told me before that the guy pulled out a gun on him. And I said, what stop talking to him. Like he's going to shoot it. He's going to pull the trigger. And then that happened a couple months later. I absolutely do not have contact with that person.
He speaks about check-ins and daily tests and a system that watches him closely now. She remembers early warnings on social media. Proof that makes her uneasy at night. They both want the same thing in different shapes, which makes the court work. Harder family history and mental health get mentioned, like weather reports that affect plans. The judge keeps the tone firm and humane and asks for documents and receipts both parents promise. Cooperation and the calendar becomes their common language. The timeline resets to a future date where truth will be revisited. And Wade, this part feels like a pause button pressed firmly in the middle of a noisy life.
But what I wanted to add was that on his Instagram, which is public, he posts him smoking 5 days ago. So I don't know if he's being drug tested every single day. I've never heard of someone being drug tested every single day, but maybe that's true. But I would really like a follicle test because I don't believe that he is not on drugs. I think that he would be trying to see his daughter, actually trying to see his daughter, if he wasn't on drugs.
Is there anyone else who could supervise visits? Ms. Ty?
Mom did not give me any other names.
Um,
There might not be. I'm just asking.
I really don't. I think that his family has too much trust in him and they would let him leave with her.
Okay, it's a yes/no question. Are there any other people?
Not that I can think of. Maybe, I guess I could agree with the ABP. Is that what it's called?
Mr. Ahmed, is there anyone else you could think of?
Other than my family, no. I wouldn't take my daughter around any other people anyways. I would prefer her to be around my family while she's with me.
I'm going to render for temporary orders. I'm going to appoint Ms. Ty, the temporary sole managing conservator, and Mr. Ahmed, a possessory conservator. With her having the right to determine the primary residence within Montgomery or contiguous counties. I'm going to order visits be supervised, and this is just for the temporary orders. We'll see from here going forward with more evidence and more information. But for now, I'm ordering visits through that ABC program, Access Builds Children, with Mr. Ahmed paying the cost involved. Ma'am, there's still going to be a fee you'll have to pay, the registration fee. They require everyone pay one. And I'm ordering child support. However, I'm going to deduct $150 a month as an offset for the ABC visits. So I'm ordering for temporary orders that Mr. Ahmed paid to Ms. Ty $342 per month, beginning November 1st of 2025. I'm ordering that she continue with the government or medical assistance program, and ordering that Mr. Ahmed pay to Ms. Ty cash medical support of $75 per month, beginning November 1st of 2025. I'm ordering Mr. Ahmed to take a drug test. Ms. Khan, do you have language for that?
I can find some, Judge.
Okay.
But
Requests for drug tests sound like practical gates and like dramatic truth meters. She offers old results and he pledges new ones, and both agree to proof over promise. The court lists testing options and prices, and even the technicalities get emotional weight. A clinic in Richmond suddenly matters as much as a heartfelt pledge of change the temporary orders, assign roles, and put the child inside a safer framework for now. Money shifts again to offset supervised visits and the math. Becomes a peace treaty. Both parents are told to submit paperwork and to show up with evidence and effort. This feels like a workshop where adults learn to be adults again for the child.
And for him to do that testing by close of business on October 31st, 2025. The results have to be turned into the AG's office so we can see them at the next setting.
So what kind of drug test though?
What do we typically do? 10, is it 10 follicle?
The 10 panel follicle?
Panel, yeah.
And do we want to, he lives in Richmond, I believe. I don't know. I don't have
Sir, where do you live?
places there.
Yeah, Richmond.
Fort Bend County. And ma'am, have you looked into places in that area?
For him to get follicle tested?
Mm-hmm.
I have not. I didn't. I could look into it right now. I didn't though. He lives in Houston though. He's in Houston right now.
Actually, it's not. I'm looking at one right now. So 5 panel is 179, 7 panel is 210.
What are you requesting, ma'am?
10?
I don't see a 10. I have 5, 7, 8, 9, and 12 and 14 at this one place in Richmond.
A 12 follicle?
That's $485.
Was there a question? I'm sorry.
I mean, I think the 5 panel includes meth and cocaine.
Does it?
I think it does. If those are the,
Yeah, amphetamines, cocaine, marijuana, opiates. Yeah, the 5 panel should do.
you're getting more into the prescription drugs with the bigger
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
Okay.
The 5 panel follicle testing. Let me do a reset for January. Because I have January 13th or January 22nd. The 13th is a hybrid docket, and the 22nd is Zoom.
22nd, it looks freer.
Okay. So let's do final trial, January 22nd, 2025. You both may wish to consult lawyers. The state does not represent either of you. And there's a lot of issues here, a lot of allegations that an attorney might help you flush out and present evidence about.
Online post and late. Night calls become part of the record and the ordinary turns. Publicly explains his past and claims accountability. While she points to patterns that scare her, the judge asks for hair tests and for receipts and for proof that action will match words everyone agrees. That the child deserves both safety and relationships. Where possible temporary conservatorship and supervised visitation are the tools the court chooses now the child support amount is adjusted to reflect the new visitation reality. And costs this chapter reads like a temporary map drawn to guide the next. Months of real life, the scene closes on practical. Orders and an invitation to come back with more evidence.
Okay, and the drug test place I found is called Health Street, and that's the one where it calls that, and it's on Main Street in Richmond. Is that okay?
Yeah. So am I supposed to pay for the follicle test or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, can I also like request that she take one as well? Just because there's been times where she's smoked like the weed cart pens around my daughter, and she's taken money from me to go buy those before, and I don't have a problem taking the test, but I would like to request that she take one too.
Your response, Ms. Ty?
Well, I did smoke weed whenever I was with him. I don't mind taking a drug test, but I'm not in the same position as him. I take care of our daughter full time. I just had to take a drug test to get into school, and I have to take a drug test whenever I get a job, which I'm currently looking for a job, and I think I have one lined up. So I don't mind taking a drug test, but I don't really think that it's.
When
I
did you
I
take
didn't
that
get
test to-
arrested for drugs.
When did you take the test to get into school, ma'am?
I took it in July.
Do you have access to the results?
Yes.
Can you submit those to the Attorney General's office?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm ordering you to submit those drug test results to the AG's office.
Okay, and that is that just over the email?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And if either of you have documents that you want the AG to see for the next setting, you can email them those documents as well.
Okay.
Okay. And so the state's going to draft the temporary order, and they'll be circulating it to you all shortly through DocuSign to review and sign off on
All right.
shortly. Thank you. Thank you all.
Y'all both want to go back to the breakout rooms? You look on the bottom, it'll either say breakout room or it'll say more, and then you can click it and it'll say breakout room.
Okay.
Where it says leave.
No, don't do leave. But it should, if you click on your screen, it should pop up some icons on the bottom.
I'm not seeing it.
Julie, I think I can put it back in there.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Ahmed, just 1 second. I'm going to try to move you on my end, okay? You should be briefly in the waiting room and then return to room 14, okay?
Okay, thank you.
The final lines set the case for a future date and send both parents toward their next moves, appointments, and emails, and test results become the new vocabulary of accountability the judge frames. Temporary care and supervised visits as careful. Steps, not final answers, both parents leave with tasks that test their commitment to change, and to the child this ending feels less like closure and more like a checkpoint on a longer path. The courtroom gives a structure and asks the adults to meet it with honesty and proof. Watch the small moments that follow, because they will tell the real future for this child. For now, the scene is paused, and everyone must decide what to do with the time they have been given.